So today's story comes from the Business Insider, the Business Leader, um, and this is a UK business magazine talking about business and all things to do with business, especially in the UK, and especially from a business leader perspective, as you might have guessed from the title of the publication. Now, they've had a very, very interesting article, but this shouldn't be a surprise. Why? Well, once again, we've been saying it since the very beginning, and we've been dismissed as Project Fear, but more and more, it's being proved that yes, we were right all along. So, what we're talking about? Well, it's right here. So, 1 in 7 UK businesses is considering moving its HQ overseas into another European country in the wake of Brexit, according to a new survey. The global software consultancy ThoughtWorks has polled more than 1,000 British businesses on their post-Brexit plans, and the results show more than 3/4 are drawing up new growth plans in the wake of the UK's departure from the EU. And while 18% are aiming to expand into new overseas markets, around 14% intend to quit the country, and a number which increases to 20% in key areas. Interesting, the study on over 1,000 businesses also discovered that there were almost as many businesses planning to expand abroad as there were enterprises focusing on a domestic market. The difference came down to technology. Businesses making the most of their tech assets were those that were likely to be looking at overseas expansion. Businesses that were looking to use their technology, looking to improve the use of technology, but were looking for some way behind the market leaders, were most likely to focus on attempting to grow their market in the UK. Regional highlights. From the research, ThoughtWorks found the attitudes of business leaders towards securing growth after Brexit varied on a city-by-city basis around the UK. While the Brexit political debate has largely been associated with London and Edinburgh, from a business perspective, the research suggests that it impacts various cities quite differently. London businesses are most likely to seek business partnerships in EU countries at 27%, and to digest their back office and legacy systems in order to become more efficient. Businesses in the capital are also more likely to employ more staff which spoke a foreign language. Birmingham. Businesses are more likely to invest in digital transformation programs, roughly polling at 21%, as part of a plan to secure growth after the UK leaves the EU. Leeds. Business decision makers are most likely to be looking at reducing their cost base and staff numbers. Glasgow is a city where businesses are most likely, they say, would invest more resources into AI and machine learning. Liverpool. Businesses are more likely to prioritise diversification of their businesses across more product lines and channels. In Manchester and Newcastle, business leaders were more likely to say that they will focus on growing the domestic market, and further, Newcastle businesses are more likely to plan a move into new overseas markets and seek new partnership in EU countries. Bristol is a city where businesses are more likely to consider moving their head office to another EU country. Luke Vindergrock, I think that's how you say it, of Digital Transformation Principle at ThoughtWorks said, "For years, people have speculated about the impact of Brexit. Since Friday of last week, the speculation has ended as Britain sets out on a new journey. For the business community, there will be uncertainty, and those that turn it into their advantage will be the agile enterprises that anticipate change and adopt quickly. Our research suggests technology will be the key. Those enterprises that fully use technology to achieve competitive advantage are already making plans to expand, to innovate, and to grow." New ways of working can align your whole business around customer value. Data can help you build and engage and have the advantage. Platform thinking and test and learn approach will minimize the impact of your investments, and the delivery mindset will help you cut through the complexity and get things done. All these digital capabilities can help businesses to modernize, change, and grow, and get in shape to seize the opportunities of that the post-Brexit era may present. So I'm going to be hearing surely some Brexiteers championing, saying, "Oh look, there are UK companies, investing in the UK." Here's the thing, guys. You may have noticed a particular theme of what those companies were saying. They wanted to invest in new technology. New technology very often means less employees, employing less people to do a job because you now have technology that helps you do that process more better. This isn't going to lead to more jobs. If anything, it's going to lead to worse jobs. Not only that, you've then got to consider, what about the people that get left behind? This is still a massive problem that is affecting the UK before the EU, and is one that is affecting us now. This will get worse. Brexit and the Brexiteers promised these people who voted for Brexit that their lives are going to get better. Businesses investing in that way, in that technology, especially things like AI, aren't going to mean that these people in these left behind areas are going to get jobs. And we've seen only just this week, Boris has abandoned putting someone in a position to run the Northern Powerhouse, something that once again he promised in his campaign and has not delivered. And I have said many times, it is the only thing that the Conservatives have actually promised on a structural basis that I actually agree with. A massive investment into an area that has seen little to no investment from the UK government. Indeed, the only organisation to actually invest in the region of the North is the EU. But we're no longer a part of that anymore. And as a result, by the end of 2020 and 2021, we are going to be seeing many very successful EU programs to help encourage business and help them grow end. And the UK government ain't replacing those programs. So how do you spin this idea that Brexit is going to be good for the people? The truth is, you can't. The businesses have said it very well themselves. While they are, quote, looking to expand and grow the UK domestic market, which will become an increasingly competitive workspace, you have to sooner or later look at overseas. And if we are, as I highly looking likely, that we are going to be locked out of Europe, our closest what were our closest trading partners and allies, now there will be barriers there to be able to do business, which will make UK companies less competitive. They are now going to have to look at expanding overseas, which very often means, rather than investing in the UK, it means investing in another country, which basically means jobs that should be here in the UK go overseas. And, we told people this. This is what these people who are backing Brexit want. They don't want to really invest in the UK. There's too many regulations to stop them exploiting. They'd rather go and invest in these, quote, new and exciting markets that they can exploit with all their wealth. Being in the EU stopped them from doing those exploits. Now it doesn't, and we are going to now see almost a replay back to the 70s, where you had a lot of businesses going out and investing overseas, where the UK appeared very rich on the outside, but in reality all the money was leaving the UK. All the jobs are leaving the UK. All the low-skilled jobs that a lot of people who in the position of Brexit voted for because they wanted better jobs or more jobs, they aren't going to come. the funding to help these people upskill into these new jobs that are going to become available aren't going to be there. So once again, as a result, you're going to see people vastly disappointed by Brexit. Because Brexit was built on lies, it was built on a foundation of sand, and one of the phrases that I came across recently, I can't remember who said it now, but in revolutions, the revolutionaries are very often disappointed by the outcome. And that's what's going to happen. It all seems like sunny uplands, but trust me, it may seem like we are in a honeymoon period essentially now. Savage Javid resigning gave a little bit of the uneasiness that is going on in the Conservative Party, and as I said, wait for summer. Summer, once again, it is all going to kick off. The withdrawal agreement and the idea of where we should be going should have been decided long before. It should have been decided at the referendum of this is where we are going to go. But of course they didn't. They said pretty much every plan there was going, from remaining in the single market to the customs union, right through to not a no deal, but just remaining in the customs union. That is the vision that they sold to many people. That is the vision that Leave themselves sold. And none of that is what they want to do. I have highly suggest that they are trying to wrangle themselves into getting a no deal, and they are trying to very carefully try and play it as seeming that's the only option that we can go with now. We're going to go with the quote Australia option. Won't that be fun, kids? You know. But there you go. We told you so, and giving the Tories such a massive majority allows them to do that. And it's good because now they have to own it. The Brexiteers now have to own it. And as Colin said, there will be increasingly more and more people saying this isn't the Brexit I voted for. Because there was no consensus on Brexit. We've said this many times before. You get 5 Brexiteers in a room and ask them on paper what they want this post-Brexit UK to be, you will get 5 different answers.